Big Ed here, and today I'm going to bring you the Sig Sauer P226 versus the Beretta 92. Specifically these models, this is the Beretta 92FS, this is the Inox version, and this Sig Sauer is the P226, this is the Mark 25, this is the Navy SEALs edition. These have been compared and people have done many reviews on both of these, and this would just be my take on it. So originally, back in the mid and early 80s, both of these guns met their first duel together when the military was out for a new service pistol to replace the 1911, and these two guns had the last whack at it, and this gun eventually won the big military service contract. But the Sig 226 did get the Navy SEAL contract, and they're both very similar pistols. These are both double action, single action pistols, which means that the safest way you carry these pistols, you load around in the chamber, you have a full mag, you have hammer drops on both of them, and that renders the pistol safe. And then after your first heavy double action shot, every consecutive shot after that is single action. Whereas the slide retracts on both these firearms, the hammer stays back, and it is that beautiful, sweet single action pull. They both have similar construction. They both have steel uppers and aluminum frames, so that does make them similar. So let's go ahead and we'll do a close-up here, and we'll try to get a good close-up on the features. And I do have reviews of each one of these pistols up close. I recommend watching those so you really get the idea of what these are about. So first you have your trigger, and then you're gonna have that little button right there is to take your slide off. You push that little button, it'll release your takedown lever, and you can push that and the slide comes right off. It's very easy to take the Beretta down. Back here you have your decock lever. So if you push the decock lever down right there, it deactivates the trigger, and that's also functions as a safety. Some people do not like that. I'm not crazy about that either, but it is on there. You can get this model, the G model, and have that removed. Also, you can get a piece from Wilson Combat and modify this to remove that. The next thing, you have your magazine release right there, and that's pretty standard on most American pistols. And then your hammer, and you can cock it manually, and then you can use your decocker to drop it. So there's your slide stop lever right there. So that's basically, in short, how the Beretta works. So here's your 226 right there. There you have your trigger, and you're gonna have your double action trigger pull. Then you're gonna have your magazine release. And then you'll have, the cool thing about this one, your decocker, is just, I favor the decocker a little bit more. So we have our hammer back there, and to decock, it's a little more natural, a little more instinctual. You just take your thumb and swipe that lever right there, and that will decock your firearm. So it's a little bit better. It's a little more troublesome on that 92. Also, your slide stop, it's a little button right there. And then decock it, and that's it. And your takedown lever is pretty similar, kind of similar. Basically, you're going to take your slide back into that little notch, rotate your takedown lever, and that's it. I'll drop the hammer to get that first double action. Got it. It's a good shooter, I shoot it well. Gonna rack one in there, gonna drop the hammer. First shot will be on double action, just like you would carry this pistol. Point of hold's a little bit more. I usually hold a 6 o'clock hold with the Sig. This I'm basically holding right on the target where I want to hit, so I got to remember the two differences there. Good stuff. I missed that first double action shot, but we're a pretty good distance away from these targets today too. So we'll go ahead and we'll run that same drill with the Sig. We're gonna rack one in there, drop the hammer. Actually, this is the, yeah, that's the Beretta holster. Of course they don't fit. We'll make it work though. Oops. So let's talk about the pros and cons of each pistol and which features I like better. So they both kind of function the same and they do the same thing. They're both 9mm double single action pistols. The Sig is removable night sights on it. And this came stock from the factory like this. And you can replace these sights with anything you want. But night sights, Trijicon night sights are good and there's no reason to replace those as far as I'm concerned. This gun has a nice rail on it too, so you can put lights and lasers and all that kind of jazz on it. Also, this pistol is expensive. That's probably one of the knocks on this pistol. I'm gonna give it right now. These are running for about $1,000. The cheapest you can get a 226 right now, brand new, is about $800 to $850. So these are not inexpensive pistols. They cost some money. So let's talk about the Beretta right now. First thing about the Beretta is the rear sight is removable and you can replace that, but the front sight is not. The front sight is just part of the slide. It's just part of that casting, which is very unfortunate. The new model, the M9A3, does have a removable front sight, but this gun was purchased last year, brand new. It should, in my opinion, have the removable front sight. So that's a pretty big knock. They make a lot of different models of this gun, and there's all sorts of different variations of this fire. One area where this has the Sig beat hands on is price. You can pick up just a black one of these with a rail on it for probably about $575. So that's going to be much cheaper than the Sig. And this is, as far as I can tell, built just as well. There's no skimping of cost Beretta's done that makes this less of a handgun than the Sig. It's just a different handgun. Another nice thing that the Beretta 92 has going for it is Wilson Combat has adopted these things and they make all sorts of custom parts of these. You can go ahead and buy one of these from Wilson and they're like around the $1,000, $1,100 to $1,200 range, and they are quite nice, and they'll have trigger jobs, they'll have, you know, aftermarket G10 grips on them, and they'll definitely be cool. So we got the Beretta again. We'll go ahead and we'll rock this one more time. Chamber around, drop the hammer, make sure the safety is off. That's a knock on this gun, is that decocker also forms as a safety. It's much better to get the upgrade, either get the G model or get the Wilson piece that'll eliminate that. There we go. First shot here. Went for that little 6-inch plate, missed it a few times, but that's all right. So you see, if I take my time, I'm able to hit it. But you got to take your time with that first shot, double action. I'm going to shoot a few double action just to try to get these targets working with these. Right, drop the hammer. Drop it. Drop it. Ooh, that was a big miss. So you can see I'm dropping it every time. So I'm hitting it pretty well, but I got to concentrate on that first thing. It definitely takes practice with it. So let's go ahead and we'll run that same thing with the Beretta. Drop it. A little tougher to drop on the Beretta. So as you can see, once I warm up and practice it, it's, you know, it gets there. So folks, I'm going to go ahead and sum this up. As you can see, these are both wonderful handguns, and I enjoy shooting both of them. These are the last two handguns in the world I have to take my pick, or somebody gave either one of these. I wouldn't feel underarmed with either one of these. They're both wonderful and extremely well made. I will say I think the trigger on the Sig is a little lighter in general than the Beretta. The Beretta's double action is pretty smooth, and I think it might just be a touch smoother than the Sig's. Also, the sights on the Sigs are removable. They are not on the Beretta, at least not that front sight. You're kind of stuck with it. Price is a big difference too. These are going to start around that $850 area. This is going to start closer to, $575 in that ballpark. And they go up from there. You can get these, from Wilson for $1,100 or $1,200, and you can definitely pay, like this one, $1,000 for one of these. I think these are both investment grade firearms. You can buy these and these won't lose value. When I paid $50 for this one years ago, and now I see them selling for $1,000. So I could probably sell this for what I paid for it used, and I've had a lot of fun with it. Same with this Beretta. I bought this used for $500. I could easily sell this for $500 because these things are listing new for about $675, this Inox version. And once I figured out the hold with each one, going back and forth was a little tough, but you saw I could hit with it. But you have to take your time with that double action first trigger pull, and that is definitely not my strong suit. I need to practice and get better with that. And this pistol I've been shooting a lot more than this one lately because this is a newer edition. But folks, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them below. If you have any thoughts you wanted to chime in on this video, put them below and I'll get back to you as quick as possible. If you like this video, feel free to give me a thumbs up and definitely feel free to subscribe and to take your pick or be fortunate like me and own both of them.